What's up, everybody? It's what Jim, and they're joined by Garrett from Soundlab Studios. And
How's
today
it going?
we're ranking all the songs from the Beatles' 1969 Abbey Road album. How are, how are you doing, Garrett?
I'm doing very good. Really excited to review, rank the songs on this album. This is my favorite album of all time. From the first time
Same
I
here.
heard it,
I agree.
just an absolutely amazing album. First time I heard it was back in college, my sophomore year. I had just moved into an on campus apartment, and my roommate and I were making biscuits and listening to this album. And just like being like, oh, like it's 10 o'clock in the morning and I'm not at class right now because I have a free hour. I'm making biscuits, listening to Abbey Road. Like, I don't know. That was a really good memory.
Very cool. I've actually written down the first time I ever heard it. It's on my phone. A while I get it up. As it's the first time on my channel, if you could explain what sort of videos you do on your channel, that that would be great.
Yes. My channel is we do a lot of album reviews, top 10 videos, discography reviews, vinyl record highlights. So if you like all things vinyl records and old music, then my channel is the place to go.
Very cool. Just always there. And I've heard this album in total. I've only heard it 9 times, so I feel like I hear it more than that. But
Really?
I did hear it earlier today, the album, and the first time I heard it, well, all the way through the first time I heard it, was on the 24th of September, 2020. So I think it was a couple of days until it was the 51st anniversary
Mm.
of the album.
The first time I heard it was in February of 2020.
So it's the same. It was 2020 for both of us. That's very
2020 was
interesting.
kind of the year that I dug into the Beatles albums and moved away from Red and Blue compilations. The only one I'd heard all the way through was Sgt. Pepper because that was the first record I ever got when I was 17. Inspired me to start a record collection and inspired me to start listening to actual albums and not just greatest hits compilations.
Yeah, that was a good start for me as well. I don't even think I've heard the Blue album. I think all I heard was just the Red album.
Mm.
And I had heard Abbey Road in the background before, but the first time I probably sat down and listened to it was in 2020. But
This is
enough talking about the album. I think it's about time you rank the songs from it.
all right.
So how we're going to do it is we're going to have Me, Mr. Muscle, and Paula Palm as one song, and we're going to have Golden Summer's Character Way at the end as one song. And I'm going to be including Her Majesty, but Garrett isn't. And for anyone
I'll go ahead and throw it in.
alright, go ahead and throw it in then. But you can go ahead and rank along with us in the chat this live stream or in the comments once the live stream is over. And we've got my mum here. So we're doing drink duty for me.
I'll be doing drink duty. Hello. We just noticed you're not very clear as much as
No.
I thought to put your microphone there and I could hear it.
Okay. Well, yeah, that should be alright.
Oh, there we
Garrett,
go.
whenever you're ready, you can say what your number 14 is.
Okay, my number 14 is going to be Her Majesty. I wasn't going to include it, but then we were going to include it on the list. So I feel that it's more like a bonus track, a little hidden fun thing that comes after the end. It's not like
Yeah.
the proper end of the album, it's just a fun little, like, 15-second song that Paul McCartney wrote. And it actually wasn't supposed to go on the album. Back whenever they were recording this album, the engineers were told never to throw away anything by the Beatles. So they put it at the end of the album, and they sat down to all listen to the album in the studio, and then the end happens, and they're talking, and then the boom, and the song started,
Yeah.
and Paul McCartney thought that was just so funny. He's like, let's actually put that on the album. Like, we're not going to put the title on the album, but if they listen and wait long enough after the end, then they'll hear my little hidden track. So,
Very
gonna be
cool.
my number 14.
Brian's here, Brian. And we've got Jason, he's ranking the songs with us.
Jason and Briar, how's it going,
Max
guys?
at number 14 as well. Well, my number 14 actually isn't Her Majesty. It's actually the song Maxwell's Silver Hammer, which is the third track off the album. I still think it's a pretty great song. That I'm not a big fan of it lyrically, though. The lyrics are very dark, and it's not my favourite lyrics from Paul McCartney. But I think the melody is pretty strong, and I like all the instruments being used, and I think the harmonies are pretty great. It's not a song I choose to listen to unless it's on the album. But I do quite like the Anvil part of the song. It was great seeing you get back documentary, seeing Mal Evans doing the Anvil part. But I think in the actual recording it was Ringo who did it. But yeah, that's for number 14. Is Maxwell's Silver Hammer.
Okay, my number 13 is Here Comes the Sun. King, that is. Sun King. So this is my least favorite part of the medley. Still really good. I like the atmospheric sound with the crickets chirping. It just feels like summer at the beginning. With that really low-key guitar, the crickets, atmospheric summer feeling to it. And then they're like spouting out stuff in different languages, which is interesting. I don't remember who it was, but I listened to this with someone for the first time, and they said, wow, like, I wasn't expecting the Beatles to do that. But it's just a very relaxing song. Will put you in a good mood if you listen to it, so, The Sun King.
Yeah. Jason's number 13 is, yeah, Palms. Right. My dad didn't realise that the album was really called Everest, yeah. Yeah, it was really called Everest.
And then Paul McCartney said, why don't we do it in the road?
Yeah. And he sang a song called that, and he did it across the road, the album cover, which it's one of my favourite album covers. I'm assuming it's one of your favourites as well.
Oh, yeah.
That was taken by, I think it was taken by Ian McMillan.
And if you look at all the outtakes from the album covers, like, they chose the best one.
Yeah, there were loads of different takes that you can find. I think Paul McCartney chose that one. It's my favourite out of the other pictures that were taken that day. I like seeing the guy in the background of it as well. What's the Beatles going past? But my number 13 is your number 14, and that's Her Majesty. I think of it as like an epilogue to the album, but I do prefer where it's positioned in the long one, where it's between Me, Mr. Mustard and Polythene Town. But I enjoyed listening to it and hearing Paul and the on his acoustic guitar. And it's a very short but sweet song. And I think it's a pretty cool hidden track. And I find it quite funny that we ended with that on the album. But I think the end is the proper ending for it though.
Alright.
So you didn't realise you want to fly to Mount Everest to get a picture. So the most iconic image in music history came from pure laziness. Yeah, you're right, Brian.
Briar now has records now, not just CDs.
Yeah, I found that out. I'm really pleased about that.
He got a Genesis album. He's got Who's Next.
It's going to get Abbey Road at some point.
Yes, that's a good one to get. Okay, my number 12 is Maxwell's Silver Hammer. I like this song. I know a lot of people hate this song, but it's in the album, it's one of the songs I tend to skip over if I do skip anything. I like listening to this thing front to back, but if I'm in the car and it's like, hey, you can either listen to Maxwell's Silver Hammer or you can skip it and get further along in the medley wherever you're driving to, then that's one of the ones I'll skip over to get to the medley tracks faster. But it's a good song. It's a fun song. It's kind of, it's a good song. It's a fun song. 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 very childish melody, but with dark lyrics, and I think that's kind of the point Paul McCartney was making. It's a very early use of the Moog synthesizer, which is really cool, and I do like the silver hammer anvil sound effects in it. So
Yeah.
that's gonna be my number 12.
Well, I think it's quite funny because I think we both got the same bottom three because my number 12 is Sun King. I love how relaxing this song is. I just love the atmosphere on it, and hear the crickets at the beginning of it. I think it's just a really cool song. It definitely fits in a medley. I think it's nice to have a song that slows down things a bit. So yeah, that's my number 12.
Okay, my number 11 is Because. This is a really cool song. Each member had a distinctive part singing for the harmony on this song. And I think that they recorded each part like 4 times, so there's like 12 of them. Hold on a second, there's something on my computer. There we go. I think that each of them recorded their part 3 or 4 times, and so they wanted it to sound like a choir on this song, and they definitely went for that effect. More early Moog synthesizer use, and just really great harmony on this song. So number 11 is Because.
Yeah, I've got that one. Quite a bit higher on the list actually. We've got Beatles Abbey Road is on the list. Yeah, up of albums to get. Jason's number 12 is Me, Mr. Mustard.
Me, Mr. Mustard, sleep.
That's an interesting name. Everest wasn't from the mountain, but from the brand of cigarettes sound engineers smoked. But it is quite bizarre. And Jason says there are 17 songs on Abbey Road. You combine them in some. Yeah, combining Me, Mr. Mustard and Polythene Palm is one, and Golden Slumber's Carried Away at the end is one. I think that's how Reactions to the Classics did it. They're another music YouTube channel, in case people watching don't know who Reactions to the Classics are. But is it my turn now?
Yes, number 10. Or wait,
Number
11. Sorry, 11. I'm on 10.
My number 11 is Me, Mr. Mustard and Polythene Palm. And I'm not sure what I really enjoy about Me, Mr. Mustard. I just think it's a pretty solid song. I think the lyrics are pretty solid, the melody's solid. I think it's just a great song all around. I like that it mentions in the lyrics of Me, Mr. Mustard, and then hearing the song Polythene Palm. I think it goes well with the song Me, Mr. Mustard very well. And I enjoy hearing the guitar parts of Polythene Palm. I love the energy of that song, and I love John Lennon's vocals on it. I think the lyrics are very funny as well. I find it quite interesting. So yeah, that's my number 11. It's 2 of the songs from the Abbey Road medley. You Mean Mr. Mustard and Polythene Palm.
Alright, my number 10 is I Want You, She's So Heavy. This is a really good song, I just think it drags on a little bit too long, and with all the wind sound effects and stuff at the end. And of course, I'm really nitpicking. This is the best album of all time, so all the songs on here are great. But you gotta find a reason why this is lower on the list. I do like the changing rhythms and the guitar. I like the guitar on this one a lot. The guitar solo that Lennon plays in the middle, and Lennon's vocals on this one are really good. So that's going to be my number 10.
We've got Jesus, so yeah, an easy rerun all of this now. And that's okay, Jason. I'm very thankful you're ranking them along with us. I appreciate that. But my number 10 is She Came Through the Bathroom Window. And I really enjoyed the whole song. I enjoyed the lyrics and the instrumentation. I just think it's an amazing song in my opinion. It's a song that I definitely could listen to outside of the medley. I just think it's a really strong song off the album. It's not really too much else to say about it. I just think it's a really, really well done song.
Okay, my number 9 is Mean Mr. Mustard and Polythene Pam. The two songs that go together, they're brother and sister in the story. Mean Mr. Mustard is this old man who like can't buy anything because he's like Ebenezer Scrooge, kind of saves all his money
Yeah.
up because he doesn't want to spend any of it. This mean, nasty, dirty homeless guy. And then his sister, Polythene Pam, the woman that looks like a man. Lennon was kind of going with some humor on these songs,
Yeah.
which is, I find it interesting that John Lennon said that he didn't really like the B-side of Abbey Road, which it's my favorite part of it. But I really like the guitar, especially the Polythene Pam, the bow, bow, boom, ba da da no, bow, bow, boom, ba da da no. And then the Mean Mr. Mustard is apparently where the writers of the Thomas the Tank Engine theme got the idea for the Thomas the Tank Engine theme, so I find that interesting. So that is my number 9.
I did not know about that Thomas the Tank Engine part of it. We've got Jason Green ranking them. I think he's included all the individual songs. So we've got Her Majesty, Hoping Pan, Amelia Mustard and No Darling, Maxwell Silverhammer. And then it's got number 12, The End, 11 Because, 10 Sun King, and then 9, I Want You, She's So Heavy. Very, very cool. Right, so my number 9 is one that you mentioned earlier, and that's because when I first heard the album, I wasn't the biggest fan of this song. This is one that I wouldn't mind skipping, but the more I hear it, the more I absolutely love it. It kind of gets to me sometimes now. I mean, it's got some of the best harmonies I've heard in any song. The fact that I think they overdubbed their harmonies twice, so it sounded like 9 people were singing it, which I find really cool. I can't think of any of the songs that did something like that for the harmonies. That they enjoy hearing the. I think it's a smooth synthesizer. It's got like some sort of keyboard thing going on in the song, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, I just think it's an amazing song.
Alright, my number 8 is Octopus's Garden, the one Ringo song on here. Really catchy. I love George Harrison's guitar intro on here. I like the underwater vocals during the guitar solo. It sounds like they're gargling water or something like that. Really great imagery in the lyrics. It's like a sing-along kind of song. So that's my number 8, Octopus's Garden.
Good choice. We've got Jason singing. Oh, not Jason. But
It's Mike from Did You See That?
Yeah, hello Mike. You've been doing well, thanks. We've got Brian saying, wait, Thomas the Tank Engine gets a shout out. Yeah, again. Yeah. Right. So, what do you think? Yeah, I'm on my number 8, and that's I Want You, She's So Heavy. I'm not really a big fan of long songs, but when I first heard this, I like long songs even less, but I still thought it was incredible. I do think maybe it could have been a couple minutes shorter, which is why it's not any higher on my list. But I still think it's an amazing song. I love the organ playing by Billy Preston. Got some of my favourite guitar playing of any song, and I think John just does fantastic vocals here. He's really putting his all into the song. I just think it's just got really cool groove and vibe about it. It's just a song that I just think is amazing. What a way of ending the first side, and then going straight into Here Comes the Sun for the second side. Another way it just suddenly ends out of nowhere. I think it's really cool. Like how unpredictable that is. When I still hear it to this day, I'm still not 100% sure when it's going to end. Which I really like that about it. It's got like this certain sound at the end of it. It sounds quite fuzzy. I'm not sure what that sort of effect they used for that. But I think it's really, really cool how they did that.
Like the wind sounds. You don't know what they did for that. They used the Moog synthesizer for that.
which was used quite a lot for this album. Wasn't
Mm-hmm.
this the first album that used that?
I believe so. The Beatles naturally were going to be the first to get access to this state-of-the-art equipment.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, number
But
7.
Jesus, comes in back the window.
That's
Yeah.
my number 7. She came in through the bathroom
Wow.
window. Very funny. It's based on a real story about Beatles fans who used to like climb through Paul McCartney's bathroom window to try to get into his house.
Yeah.
But the music is also really good, really catchy. She came in through the bathroom window. I love the transition between Polythene Pam and she came in through the bathroom window because it's like boom, boom, boom. Oh, look out! Ba-doo-doo-doo, boom. She came in
Yeah.
through the bathroom window. It's just really catchy, really great transition there. The chorus will get stuck in your head with "Didn't anybody tell her?" And then the guitar, George Harrison's guitar playing on this is really good. I like the kind of echo he's got on his guitar. It's a great song.
I think there's hand claps on that song as well,
Mm.
which I think is very cool. Jason's double sevens carry that weight. Get to my number 7, which is "Come Together," the first track of the album. It's a very iconic Beatles song. It's definitely one of the better songs off the album. It's one of my favourite album openers of all time. It's got incredible drumming by Ringo. It's got some of my favourite drumming I think from any song. I love the lyrics. Some of the references it mentions, like Coca-Cola.
Mm.
I think that's quite funny and quite cool. I think the guitar works fantastic. Got that iconic opening riff, which is included a lot in the song. That I can never get tired of that sound. It just sounds amazing. And I just think it's a song that I think is perfect. I wouldn't change any single thing about it.
That's a great one.
It's,
All right, my number 6, and this is where we get into the really, really, really good stuff. Is "You Never Give Me Your Money," the first track on the medley. You know it's going to be great, this medley, whenever this opening piano riff is just absolutely incredible with the boom, 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 boom. And it starts off slow, but then it picks up speed in the middle. Great bass playing and singing by Paul in this song. Great guitar from George. And then there's that little nursery rhyme chant at the end. It's just one of the best songs on the medley and one of my favorites on the album.
cool. Jason's also got that as number 6 as well.
Oh.
One thing I'll mention about "Come Together" is I think it's got like a piano in it.
Yes.
An organ. Yeah, I think that sounds really cool in the song. But my number 6 is "Octopus's Garden," which is my favourite Ringo Beatles song. I think he's got great lyrics on this one. And I love the meaning behind it. The fact that he's going on holiday and he wrote a song about seeing Octopus's Garden. And I think his vocals are really great on it. And I love the bubble effect. It makes you feel like you're going underwater, exploring this garden. I think it's really cool. I love the imagery that the song gives me. And the drumming is fantastic. And I think the harmonies are really, really infectious and really awesome. And yeah, that's I love every single thing about Octopus's Garden. It's a song that always puts a smile to my face. Yeah, I just think it's an incredible song.
Cool. My number 5 is going to be "Here Comes the Sun," the Beatles' most streamed song of all time. And it's not even my favorite on this album. It's definitely one of George Harrison's best songs, though. I love the guitar. I like the song so much that it's my wake-up alarm every morning. This is the song that I wake up to. Again, like the guitar, amazing. I like the bridge where they throw in the synthesizer, and it just keeps kind of building on top of each other. Great vocals here from George. This is the album really where George kind of becomes like a really, really great songwriter. He really writes some of his best stuff on this album.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, my number 5 is one I think you had number 6, which is You Never Give Me Your Money. It's almost like its own medley inside a medley.
Mm.
I think it's a perfect way of beginning the medley. And I love all the parts of the song. I think my favourite part is probably the out of college and money spent part. But it's a song that's very, very catchy. It's got fantastic instrumentation and melodies and lyrics. It's got everything you want in a Beatles song. I think it concludes really well. I think it's just a complete Beatles song, and that just opens a medley. There's still got the other incredible songs to get through. Jason's number 5 is All the Slumbers. Yeah, got some choice there.
It's a good one. My number 4 is a really underrated song in the Beatles discography. It's Oh Darling. I love the kind of old rock and roll feel to this song with the piano. And Paul McCartney is just giving it his all with, oh my goodness, I'm going to ruin this completely. I'm going to try to do the chorus, but when he sings the dun 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 dun, he goes into the when you told me you didn't need me anymore. I'm sorry, that was really bad.
That's okay.
But that part, he does it a lot better. But that part is really amazing. And I don't know, I just really like the old rock and roll style. That's kind of what I really like about this. It's a kind of a throwback song. So number 4 is Oh Darling.
Well, I'll continue the discussion. It's my number 4 as well. I love that it's a callback to the early 60s. It's got one that I think Paul McCartney does definitely one of his best vocal performances here. I love the chorus and the backing vocals is just all done really well. I couldn't believe that Paul McCartney could sing like this. When I first heard it, he just does such a fantastic performance. And I think Sam St. John, who's also got this as Abbey Road's his favourite Beatles album, I think this is his favourite song from it.
Mm.
And it's one that I'll never get tired of listening to. And Jason number 4 is Optimus Garden. And he's also said the album is his favourite Ringo song. And 2 favourite George songs. And John Paul recognised the album strategically. Maybe strategically, but I think all the Beatles did a fantastic job on this album. Yeah. So I guess we're now top 3 now.
Top 3, okay. So my number 3 is the opening track, Come Together. Rip-off of Chuck Berry's You Can't Catch Me or Not. This is still a great song. Really great bass line here from McCartney. Great drumming from Ringo Starr. Great vocals from Lennon. It's a great song all the way through. I remember specifically the first time I heard this song thinking, this is such a weird song, the lyrics make no sense, but the guitar solo at the end was just absolutely hypnotizing, the part. And then re-listening to it, it's like, okay, this is a really great song. So number 3 is Come Together.
It's also Jason's number 3 as well.
Oh, okay.
I feel bad when I've got it up on number 7. But maybe because I think I've maybe filled it more than Octopus's Garden and Never Give Me Your Money. So I think because of that, it's not one I choose to listen to as much as those 2. Probably because I've heard it so many times. My number 3 is one that you mentioned a few minutes ago, and that's Here Comes the Sun, which is in my top 25 songs of all time. It's my second favourite George Harrison song, behind the one which we're going to get to in just a moment. But I absolutely love it. I love the acoustic guitar playing, and it's got beautiful lyrics, and some of my favourite lyrics and melodies of any song. And I don't blame you waking up to this one. It's one that I want to be waking up to as well. It's just a fantastic song that it's very melodic, just fun song to listen to. Song that puts a smile on your face. be quite melancholic as well. I think it's got great advice in the song as well. Yeah, I just think it's got everything you want in it. George Harrison Beatles song plus more. It's, I can see why it's also one of the most streamed Beatles songs. It's definitely a very popular one. So yeah, that's my number 3.
Okay, top 2. My number 2 is the incredible ending of Golden Slumbers, Carry That Weight, and the end. This is the best way for the Beatles to end this album and really their full discography. Because this is I think, one of the last songs they recorded. I think officially the last song they recorded was I Me Mine, but this is one of the last ones they recorded. And just wow. More great Paul McCartney singing. You get that George Martin orchestration, little reprise of the You Never Give Me Your Money theme. Carry That Weight, where they're all, like, all 4 of them are singing. It's one of the only songs where all 4 of them are singing on. Then you get the end with that great Ringo drum solo. You get that dueling 3-way guitar solo from McCartney, Lennon, and Harrison. And then you get the famous line at the end, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. And then, like, an absolutely amazing guitar outro. Just the perfect way to end the album. One of the best closing tracks.
I agree. Jason's number 2 is Here Comes the Sun. And it's the best rock song for the Beatles has come together, which is number 3. So my number 2 is my favourite George Harrison Beatles song, and that is Something. I absolutely love it. I love the intro of it. With the, I don't want to try and imitate the sound because I know it won't be very good. But the guitar riff in it is one of my favourite sounds of any song. I think when I was younger, I didn't know what the song was called, but I always knew that. I always knew the opening riff. I love the organ playing by Billy Preston and the fantastic guitar playing. One of my favourite guitar solos. And just George Harrison, just fantastic vocals here, fantastic lyrics all around. It's one of my favourite love songs. And Frank Sinatra said it's his favourite Lennon McCartney, even though it's not. It's a George Harrison one. But yeah, fantastic song. What a way of opening the album would come together, and then you got something. It's just 2 back-to-back masterpieces.
I think that's another reason I have Maxwell so low, is because after coming right after Something, it kind of ruins the vibe. Like, if Maxwell was placed somewhere else on the album, like maybe after Octopus's Garden, I don't know.
We've got one from Mrs. May Entertainment, Hello Brian. Here Comes the Sun is actually his favourite song of all time.
Oh, wow.
I think I've heard a couple of people saying that that's their favourite song of all time. I can't argue with that, though. It's definitely up there for me. But here we are. Our favourite song from the album.
Well, my number 1 song is my second favourite Beatles song, and that is Something. Definitely a contender for songs I would like to play at my wedding. The guitar on this is amazing. The guitar intro is amazing. George Harrison, just like his vocals on this, the songwriting, the strings, the drumming from Ringo, and then not to mention, this might be my favorite guitar solo of all time. I mean, it's not like the most impressive guitar solo ever, but just the way he plays it and the emotion he puts behind it and the melody of the guitar solo is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I didn't touch upon Ringo's drumming, really. Yeah, his drumming is phenomenal. I
like the drum fill that opens it, and then the drumming on the little bridge section. You're asking me, will my love grow? I don't know. And every time it's like, you're asking me, will my love grow? And then Ringo's like, like that.
So good. And sometimes we get there's such got orchestration in it. Because there's so many other amazing stuff going on in the song that I just forget it's there sometimes. Yes. But that's also Jason's favourite song of Abbey Road. And for me, my favourite song of the album, it's my favourite song of all time. That's Golden Slumbers, Carried Away to the End. Golden Slumbers has got one of my favourite vocals from any song of all time. I think Paul McCartney does a perfect job in it. And I've also got some facts about Golden Summers here. It was based on the 17th century poem by Thomas Dekker called Golden Summers, Kiss Your Eyes. And the lyrics were quite different to that one. Paul McCartney wrote this on his stepsister's piano. He saw the song Golden Summers in a songbook, but because he was unable to read music, he just made up his own tune using some of the lyrics of the song, and that's how Golden Summers was created. I love the behind the scenes stuff of that song. It's fantastic. Yes, I wish Golden Summers was maybe slightly longer, so I think that would have been my favourite song of all time. Just that bit alone. But then you got carried away with a really fantastic chorus with all the Beatles singing lead on it. I think it's one of the only times the Beatles did that. And I love to call back to Never Give Me Money, which started off the medley. And then you got the end with some of her guitar playing. And I love the way that John Paul and George are sort of competing with one another on the guitar solos. And you got my favourite line of any song, which is, and in the end, your love you take is equal to the love you make. It's a line that gets me every time. And just those three songs together, just divine. And just, I've not heard anything better than that, in my opinion. Why it's my favourite song of all time. But it probably is cheating though, but there's sort of three songs in one, really.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I absolutely love it.
It's amazing.
There we go. Yeah, it is. We rank all the songs of the Abbey Road album. So he says to the top 5 Beatles songs. Something is, which is also Brian's second favourite. Maybe prove that Jordan turned into a better songwriter. Yeah, maybe. James does a guitar solo on that one. One of the great love songs, along with Here, There, and Everywhere. I agree, Jason. I think I prefer Here, There, and Everywhere slightly more. And Brian said that some things his favourite song on the album is a beautiful track. Yeah, it definitely is. Well, yeah, it's amazing. You're right, Garrett. It said we're cheating, but we'll allow it. So if we can't have that as my favourite song, then it'd be In My Life by the Beatles instead. Another equally. Yeah. But I enjoy ranking all these songs with you, Garrett. And if you're not subscribed to Garrett, aka Soundlab Studios, please go ahead and do so. His channel is in the description below. You're over 200 now.
Yes.
Which is very impressive. Because I think only about a week ago we were about 180.
It's those shorts. Honestly, I've been putting out shorts highlighting records in my collection, and those get like 1,500 views each, which I'm very surprised that they get that many. But
very cool. Yeah, I enjoy doing this and talking about my favourite album of all time. Also your favourite as well.
yes.
I know quite a lot of people who has this as a favourite album of all time. I don't think you can argue with it, in my opinion. I just think it's fantastic, pretty much all the way through. Even if statistically it might not be a perfect album, I still would give it a 10 out of 10 though.
Definitely.
Definitely recommend an album for both of us. But thank you for coming on my channel, Garrett. Hopefully I'll have you on again at some point.
Okay.
I appreciate you stopping by, and thank you, Jason, for ranking my couple of songs with us, and everybody else in the chat. I appreciate you all, and you can let us know in the comments your favourite song on Abbey Road. It's great doing this. Thank you all for watching. Do you have any final words, Garrett?
If you don't like this album, then what the gem are you thinking?
Exactly. Thanks for watching, everyone. Ciao.